My name is of no importance. What's important here is my overall story, which is a dark, sinister parade of abuse, gaslighting, neglect, evilness, and lack of accountability from my aggressor. I'd like to thank you, of course, for coming here and listening to my story. This will be a long one with lots of thinking, copious details, and recounting of things I wish I could erase, as easy as I erase pencil's graphite. Therefore, you might as well buckle up, grab some drinks, get some snacks, because you're in for a long ride. I'd like to start off by saying, at some point in your life, unbeknownst to you, you have interacted with someone who has done something horrendous. They can be strangers, bystanders, people on bikes, your boyfriends, your acquaintances, colleagues, classmates, neighbors, clients, etc. Or worse, your husbands, your fathers, or your brothers. Yeah, for real. Think about all the places you go throughout your life. The grocery store, the DMV, the church, the park, restaurants, etc. Could have been anywhere, but at some point in your life, without knowing it, you have probably interacted with someone who has committed atrocious acts. Murder, rape, child sexual assault. The solve rate for those crimes in the US are embarrassingly low. It's depressing that this sentence can be stated, can be said, and it can make total sense. Not to mention all the crimes that go unreported. A huge amount of people get away with even the worst crimes. They are among us. Pastors, priests, teachers, doctors, law enforcement are rife with predators, not to mention those in other walks of life, less on the radar. It's devastating. It's discouraging. It's demoralizing. It's disheartening. Like it or not, people that do these things are not typically some outwardly deranged, visibly horrible looking person. They are the guy or the gal that looks like you or any other average person. You never know the secrets that people keep or the thoughts inside someone's head. With all that context established and all that preface stated, I like to tell my personal experience. If this was a documentary, you could use this phrase as a title. My dad, a former cop, is not who he says he is. This is probably a long shot, but here it goes. My dad has always been a mystery to me in many ways. He presented to the world as an ordinary, stand-up, church-going, law-enforcing, all-around good guy. However, behind closed doors, he was very different. Abusive in sexual, physical, deeply psychological, and spiritual manners. I ran away from home at 13 and never came back. I'm almost 40 now. I have since found out that he had another child and that none of the family seems to be aware of. That child is an adult now and reached out to me when they found out I exist. To say that this was a shock would be a bloody understatement. In fact, I dread the fact that my command of the English language becomes so limited due to the initial shock of having an innocent adult child, in a way, my half-sibling technically, reach out to me, thereby triggering unpleasant memories that would be quite comparable to war flashbacks suffered by a Vietnam veteran. My dad is my traumatizing experience. My dad was my Vietnam. He was my tree-speaking Vietnamese and snow-speaking Finnish. I am seeking assistance in trying to identify some background information on my dad, in particular, his time as a police officer. You see, way back somewhere between 1992 and 1994, a local news station did a story on my dad. I'm very interested in finding this video or article, but have thus far had no success. Any information I can find about my dad's history whatsoever is of interest, but specifically relating to his law enforcement background is what I most seek. I have reason to believe that he was up to some incredibly illegal activities during his time in law enforcement. I like to find any information that I can in order to try to pull the pieces together. I have used the paid services online and I have not found any information regarding his employment history. There's just nothing. Yeah, it was quite exhausting and not an exciting task. The result might be, but the process is beyond tedious. In the meantime, while I do my research, there's something I can actually do, and this course of action I took can be summarized with the title of my upcoming entry. I sent an anonymous letter to my dad to mess with his head. My dad, as I said before, is a pedophile. He abused all of his children from at least his first 2 marriages. However, within the community, he is seen as a great guy, well loved and respected by others. He has gone to great lengths to keep up these appearances. He is a retired cop and devout evangelical Christian. His 3rd wife, his 3rd set of children, all adults living independently now, are all seemingly unaware of the abuse he imposed upon his children from his first 2 marriages. He has 7 children in total, that I know of, from all of the marriages. I'm a child of his 2nd marriage. He has, to my knowledge, kept the child of his 1st marriage a secret from his 3rd wife and all of my younger siblings. I only know because this mystery sibling found out about my dad's 2nd and 3rd marriage and his resulting children. The sibling found me on social media and reached out to me about 10 years ago. I have not told anyone. My dad is full of secrets. I have been in no contact with him and most of my biological family for many years. My dad would tell me when I was young that if anything got out about his behaviors or past, he would kill himself, placing the burden on my shoulders. If I told anyone, he would die and it would be my fault. I have kept his secrets for the past nearly 40 years. But over the past couple of years, I've been in therapy. It helped me work through a lot of shame and guilt, but now, my predominant feelings I have are rage and a need for justice. But justice is impossible, as the statute of limitations has long expired. Thus, I got an idea. I decided I was going to make it my mission to fuck with him. To fuck with him, not to fuck him. I want him afraid. I want to cause him to feel fear, anxiety, and paranoia. I want to fuck with his head. I do not care if it results in his demise. I'm sitting here with a bowl of popcorn, just watching and waiting to get the good part. So, I sent him a card, mailed from a faraway post office, obviously without a return address. On the front of the white card, in plain black font, it just said, "Thinking of you," and had a simple line drawing of a flower, one that is in fact poisonous. Inside the card, in heavily altered handwriting, I wrote, "I remember. Do you?" But I also included a page torn from a Bible. The page was from Luke. I used a highlighter and I highlighted the following verse. "For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad." Luke 8:17. I felt like the card and its contents were poetic, and I'm tickled by how perfect it was. I sent it so that it would arrive on his birthday. I plan to continue to send things to him, very randomly, to fuck with his head. I'm writing down ideas in a journal, brainstorming for other perfectly poetic ways to fuck with him, to make him fear that his secrets are about to be discovered, to make him fear that his secrets are about to be discovered. I lived in fear of him all my life. I like to return the favor in some small, legal manner. I would like to thank everyone and anyone who replied to my story. I'm so overwhelmed with joy and totally moved by the number of people writing positive comments and saying nice things. I'm genuinely touched by y'all's support and enthusiasm. Also, the idea of him receiving cryptic anonymous mail from strangers around the world is sort of brilliant. I don't want to send items in too close in succession, but when I'm ready for the next to be sent, I will likely be messaging a few of you. Thank you for your support, everyone. And to my fellow survivors, I hope that each of us finds the healing that we deserve, and the justice in some form that we so crave. I'm here for all of you. I'm here for all of you. And to the person who suggested that I should forgive my aggressor and be the bigger person, you can go and sodomize yourself with your own words. The conversation with that undesirable, idiotic, brainless simpleton went something like this.
Love changes people. You should have written a letter of love to your mother instead. Maybe if she had felt loved and accepted by someone once in her life, she wouldn't have turned into what she did. Hurt people hurt people. She has always seen the world as a place of anger and hostility, and you cemented that for her. You should have shown her it can be full of light and love if you want it to be.
Here's a thought. How about you take your propaganda and shove it up your ass? You took the time to write a message and tell me to show love to someone who has made a living out of harming innocent children? What's wrong with you? You're an enabler of child abusers, clearly. It's not my job to show my heinous mother that there is love in the world. It was her job to show it to her children. She could kill herself tonight, and I would sing with joy upon hearing the news. It is not the job of the abused to show love to their abuser. That's some antiquated backwards garbage. I showed my mother love for 3 decades and did nothing to make her a more loving person. Go to hell and leave me alone.
I hope you have a sibling, so there's a chance that your mom will know what it feels like to have a child who treats her right. It sure as hell isn't you. And now your guilty conscience is showing itself. You should apologize to her for all you've put her through, and also to me.
Why should I apologize to someone who abused me? She violently abused all of her children, and then sacrificed all of them to pedophiles. You're probably a child abuser yourself. That's why you think abused children should apologize to their abusive parents. I will never apologize to her. And you deserve no apology. You disgust me. I have no guilt because I have done nothing wrong. I hope your life is full of loneliness and suffering. You are a monster for harassing abuse survivors. You deserve no peace. You're a pathetic waste of a human. Fuck off, you dirty scumbag.
This is insane. And by the way, fun fact, you know what? I suspect that this random redditor was your mom.
For a moment I actually considered that. And then I remembered that my mom is too stupid to figure out Reddit. Lol. She still uses her original AOL email because Gmail is too complicated for her to navigate.
Then how about someone close to your mom then? I know random people can also be so awful, but why did they get so offended then?
My mom has no one that is close to her. She's almost 70 and no one can stand her.